map. It can, we could see some more gimmick on this one. He didn't really talk to me about Viney research, but maybe he's got something planned.
Yeah, we'll see. This is definitely going to be a map where we can see a lot of different types of early aggression from the Zerg. We've seen it before. Dark loves his early Ling pressure on this map as well. This is it. This is going to be the deciding match. Which one of these players is going to the winner's match? And we'll just be one best of 3 away from moving on to the round of 8.
Both look so focused right now. Game number 3 here. It's such a dangerous game. None of them want to be at this point.
All right, guys, let's go into it. Game number 3.
Push it.
Up here in the top, a Protoss player in red is Classic, tying it up in game 2.
Down here in the south, 6 o'clock, we do have the blue Zerg, HyuN from Team Rukat. Bit of an upset in game 1, showing a bit of flair. He's always got that style, that originality that a lot of Zergs are lacking these days. But game 2 played more of a standard game, and it just didn't work out. Classic kind of got to a point where he wanted to be. This game, this map could be the same. You know, it's not a hard map for Protoss to get 3 bases on, especially that backdoor base. It makes it very easy to expand to start things off.
Sure. Checking for proxies here, even with this drone. Being very careful. Classic known to proxy versus opponents he feels he's better than. The first example of this, I always bring this up, is when he proxied against State in Pro League. He's going to hide a base over here. Now, this is pretty smart. This is a little bit of a mind game because Classic might panic a little bit and go, oh, are you doing the same thing you did in game 1, and check all over the map and start playing a little bit extra defensive as he doesn't figure out where the hatchery is.
Yeah, it's certainly so. Bit harder on this map, but still possible. I mean, whenever there's a ramp like that, things get a little bit trickier for the Lings, especially to try and bust through. But there's always potential there, and it is a gateway opening, so no cannons available in case of an emergency.
Oh, and look at this. He shows a gas. So when Classic goes to the backdoor expansion here and sees there's nothing there and he sees the gas, he's going to be like, oh, no, not again.
Not again. It could very well be the same. There's no idea yet.
I really like he shows that gas like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always going to be useful, especially a little bit later on when potential third bases go down for the Protoss, and it's on that low ground. It is exposed.
He's going to see it.
Yeah, he's going to find it. He's actually double-checking with that second probe as well.
He's stressing, man.
Super paranoid right now, but he does find it.
Probably going to even, I would say on his way back, maybe even check the gold base. Well, if he sees this third base here, I guess he's not going to. Can't make 4 hatcheries this early.
That would be the dream, actually. Maybe in Legacy.
Maybe in Legacy you
I
can.
think very well in Legacy you'd have 4 bases by now if you really wanted.
On that topic, man, a lot of people, like, there's the controversy, a lot of the, a lot of pro gamers and community members are saying they're not sure if the new economy is good or if it's, like, as good as it could be, but all I think about is, like, the potential for good maps, like community-made maps, Kespa-made maps using the new economy, and, like, how many mineral patches they can put and all sorts of different ideas with that. Like,
man, big game hunters, bring it back.
I'm so excited.
Let's have esports with big game hunters. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, the Hunters map was actually used, I think, in Pro League once for, like, not Big Game Hunter, but the actual map Hunters.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was used in 2v2 for a while.
Yeah, I remember that map. We used to do comp stomps on that map, and me and my friend we wouldn't allied victory. We'd actually kill everyone else.
And that's the best.
And then, like, we'd kill each other. Like, we'd backstab each other as well. So it was like this horrible game where we'd sit in our bases and make battle cruisers and carriers. And like someone's like not allied victory and it's us, but we'd blame someone else, and then we get everyone to kill them. Yeah. And then we'd like slowly work around until like they figured out that me and my friend were like building these giant armies in our base, not doing anything.
Comp Stomp is just this hilarious sort of idea because what's the point? You could I mean, if you're that bad that you can't beat a computer 1v1 to boost your record on Battle.net, then like why do you want to fake that you have a good record? So you go into this comp stomp where you could easily just get a friend to play with you in 2v1 a computer, but you want to be in the 7v1 game.
Yeah,
there's
man.
like it's like 6 of those people are trolling, and there's the one guy who thinks he's actually going to get a win.
Oh, I used to love it.
It's so fun. I used to always go DTs or cloak wraiths, and then just like turn off the vision. Everyone's like, wait a minute.
I was horrible. I was horrible in Brew because I was such a young high school kid. Me and my friends used to just troll everyone, whether it be go to like Clan X17 on US East and like
Clan OD.
We used to ask for like custom game matches, and then like my friend would be secretly building a base on like the side of the map and stuff, and if I start to lose, he'd bring out the battle cruisers.
Yeah,
I was a horrible kid.
I was in middle school, so you can imagine like what I was doing.
It was good times.
So let's get back to this game for a minute. No more nostalgia.
Well, it's slowly taking off. You know, it's still got a little way to go before things kind of come out of the norm. But Oracle is going to be the follow-up for Classic, so no doubt probably fishing for that third base once again.
Yeah, really similar to what we saw in Game 2. What's cool for HyuN, you know, is that he's basically got this setup where he's got a ton of gas. You can actually go into quick double upgrades, so you might be seeing him go to like Viper Ultra in the late game. But
actually, I think it's going to be Ling upgrades, and he's going to plan to go to Ultras a little bit later on.
Yeah.
That's that's kind of what he mentioned to me at one point. He's like, I was thinking about doing something like that, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, that's totally what I'm saying. But actually, that wasn't even like my main point is say I distracted myself when I saw his ego chambers. Is what's cool about his situation is that he could take a fourth base basically for free because Classic never pressured his third. So now like his third is already secured in his mind a lot. That was actually his first base, right? So that's going to be the one that mines out second after his main. So if that one's the exposure, so if he loses it, it doesn't matter as much because it doesn't have as much money as the free base is going to be able to take at the back door, assuming he defends Warp Prisms, right?
Certainly so. Well, yeah, it's always great for the Zerg if they can get away with taking those outside bases going to that pocket natural a while later. And these Lings are looking to pressure here. I don't think they're really going to find anything because that is a lot of sentries already.
Yeah, so many. He's got 7. And he's got the Oracle somewhere around.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, a Baneling Nest as well.
What do you think about this?
I think that's cute. I like that.
You think he's going to try to do like speed Bane run-bys or drops? Or
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. Bane drops would be the dream. I think it's what everyone wants to see. But, you know, Banelings in general just help out against Zealots as well, like clumps of Zealots. And if he wants to try and get to Hive without going Roaches or Hydras, maybe that's one way to help out just a little bit. You have a lot of Link Bane, though they are kind of cost inefficient if the force fields are correct.
Yeah, true.
I know he wants to go into Infestus beyond this there, and there's that Infestation Pit.
Yeah.
And Aspire.
Especially based on what he's seen, there's like so much potential. I mean, he's been able to get 4 bases up essentially now for free without any pressure. He sees a heavy sentry count that Classic hasn't been able to capitalize on. So what does that tell him? It tells him that Classic's not intending on attacking anytime soon, and if he does, he's going to have enough time to deal with it. He also knows that Classic spent 700 gas on sentries, which means his tech is somewhat delayed. He's probably not going to have a blink follow-up early on in this game just yet. It's going to take a little bit longer for that to happen, so he has time to get all these techs up. He has his 1-1 upgrades with the gas he took earlier. Yeah. It's cool. It's a cool two-faceted thing because the gas he took earlier kind of scared Classic, and then now it's just he's got this extra gas he can use for these upgrades and for these additional techs.
And we're kind of seeing Classic go into this style that we have seen a lot, especially in Season 2 of Star League, where he wants to slow things down against Zerg. He is in no hurry to end the game like a lot of other Protoss players. He wants to take it late, and just make an army the ideal army that's going to face it just about anything if it's under the right conditions.
He sees the Baneling Nest, which hasn't come into play yet. It is going to be Speed Banes. They can actually work really well together with Infestors as well. You know, if you have enough gas to create a lot of them, the splash damage ends up working pretty well. I mean, the biggest kind of tell of this is when Nesty killed a bunch of Thors with Banelings. It just turns out that if you have enough gas to make enough Banelings, with that splash damage, they're just really good if they connect.
Yeah. No, it's certainly, if you can lock them down and there isn't too many force fields, there's great potential there. And we have so many gateways being made. You should see, the front of that third base is so walled off right now, as you can see. It is actually ridiculous.
He's like, no Banelings touching my nexus.
Yeah, nothing's getting in there. You know, not even ultras would be very effective, and I think that's kind of what he's expecting at this point. He's like, okay, I see what's going on here. You're going to Hive, you have an Infestation Pit, you have everything you need. The Infestation Pit is obviously upgrading pathogen glands right now. Links are upgraded. I know the tech you're going into, so I'm going to be going into Archons.
Yep, big Archon Immortal sort of late game comp is probably what we're going to end up seeing here. He hasn't added any Immortals just yet, but he has the Robo to do so. Unless he canceled that earlier. Pretty sure he has that. Maybe he canceled that. He was
Yeah.
making one, but
I think he canceled it because he saw what was up against. So he was like, okay, I'm going to go for a massive gateway timing, just gateway units and Archons, and I'm going to try and steamroll you before you make it to Ultras.
yeah, kind of not what we expected. We expected him to do that kind of build that you were talking about, just kind of slow things down. But I think it's based on what he scouted.
Yeah.
He knows he has this slight window of time to actually hit before these Ultras are ready.
And it's going to be a pretty tight one at this point because that Ultra Cavern's half done. 2-2's just about to finish, and 6 Infestors are about to finish up.
Oh man, and so much gas being spent into these Banelings, which have been spotted by this high ground pylon. These Stalkers are probably going to die if he doesn't cancel. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's the more time that HyuN can buy right now, the better it is. Ultraless Cavern about to finish up. He can only afford about 2 or 3, but if he gets the Fungals to slow this army down, maybe he can kill all the sentries. He's going to be in such a great place when they come out.
Okay, 2-2 versus just +2 attack. He's got a ton of energy on these Infestors at this point. He doesn't even want to use them on the Phoenixes. There's no reason.
Yeah, and you kept no Templar with this army either for feedback, so he's going to be taking these Fungals on the chin.
There we go. Very well said, especially because it's classic, man. Here we go. He actually loses a Stalker early on. Baneling's connecting with a lot of Zealots, so no more buffer here.
Oh, the
Good
pickups.
lifts. Good lifts, but he fungals the right side of the army. He needs more fungals. He needs the follow-ups. They're doing so much damage to the Stalker army right now. Okay, where are those fungals? Okay, hits a decent one here, but he needs more.
He needs more indeed. There's so many Stalkers behind this. More and more Banelings, as well as Vipers consuming for energy right now, trying to get enough for Blinding Clouds to keep the Spine Forest alive.
Okay, this is his moment. Time Warp to slow the Banelings.
Oh.
A beautifully placed Time Warp. There's the Blinding Cloud. He has to blink back. There's a second Time Warp. The Stalkers continue to blink back, but these Banelings are on creep. They're still just not able to get the connects that he wants, and the Spine Claws are faded away. He's making 20 more lings, but I think this is it. I think this is over.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Just overwhelming amount of Blink Stalkers right now. Ultras are on the way, 3 are in the making, and a lot of links behind this. But look at the army supplies right now. Look at the supplies in general. Just way further ahead at this point is classic.
And he's got such a bank. He can remax whatever he wants. Looks like he's going to do a bit of a split. Some Zealots, some Stalkers here. Deciding to do most of these Zealots at the end of the day because he knows that this is a mostly Ling ball. Because he knows also, he's like, well, HyuN, you're dead. You're just making Lings because it's all you can afford. You got the larva to do it. You've got money, but you don't have gas. And he can just micro against a small count of Ultras with this many Stalkers.
4 Ultras on the way here. If any pop out of a bad place, it's going to be messy.
I think one's about to pop out of this base.
Yeah, well, if he gets the Fungals, maybe the Dream stays alive here, but he's down a base now, and you never want that against Protoss. And here we go, look at this. These 2 Phoenix are going to create so many problems if they pick up the Infestors.
A lot of these Stalkers are low. Blinks on top of that Ultra. That was a great pick off there. There's one Fungal, but he needs more than that. And the Ultras are attacking small groups of Zealots instead of hitting the Stalkers they want.
It's overwhelming at this point. There's way too many in numbers.
That's going to be it. There's no way he can survive this. Good micro here by Classic. Take that last Ultra down. And HyuN with some good builds here in this series. We're very well prepared. The Classic, the defending champion, has had enough. GG.
Yeah, Classic just way too strong. He scouted exactly what the build was going to be from HyuN. And from there, he could shut it down with that huge roll-in with Archons. Very interesting, creative build. We actually haven't really seen that kind of counter to this build before. Usually it'll go a lot later into like Tempest.
Yeah. What do you think about the Banelings? It didn't seem like they were too useful. They did clear up those Zealots before the fight happened, but with the Phoenixes lifting up those Infestors, he still couldn't get the Fungals he wanted on top of the Stalkers anyway.
Yeah, it really comes down to how big of club can you detonate on, and it's always going to be like such a rare thing for it to happen the way it does, and the way it did.
It's just so expensive in gas.
And if there's Blink, like, what are you possibly going to do, you know?
You have to have Fungals with them. And if you can't get the Fungals because your Phoenixes are lifting your Infestors, you got another problem there. And I don't know, his run-by attempt got scouted because he was a bit haphazard with how he used it. He used it right next to the main base, so pretty good chance that's going to get seen.
Yeah, that's right.
So, guys, we're going to take a short little 5-minute break before we go into our second match. We'll be right back.
I love to watch you walk away. Smoking yoga, how do you were born a teen?